This episode has things like one of our girls tragically passing away and the mystery of Lottie almost being solved, but you wanted to waste time with Jeff and Kole smoking some pot? Girl. Hello to all my Yellowjackets out there. As we try to recover from the ending of this episode, I am furious. I'm trying to breathe and process what just happened, but we are going to get ready for this review and this recap of episode 9 of Yellowjackets season 3. We're talking about how the story ends. With that title, what do you mean this is how Van's story ends? What? As much as seeing Lauren Ambrose and Liv Hewson together in a scene is just magically delicious, just the dry humor between both of them, perfect casting, perfect casting, but that wasn't worth watching Van get murdered by Melissa. Girl, Melissa, I'm gonna burn all them backwards hats. I'm gonna find you, Miss Hilary Swank. I'm gonna take back that Oscar, and I'm gonna give it to somebody else. No, actually, you deserved it that year, because you were pretty great, Miss Swank.
We have come a long way.
Anyways, yeah, this episode was frustrating in so many ways. I don't think it's a bad episode, but what we chose to spend time on with some of the moments, I was like, oh, cool, Jeff and Kole, like, you know, kind of bonding, cool. Oh, wait, we could have been time doing other... Yeah, this episode is definitely one of the most frustrating, but it is a very, gut-wrenching, heart-stopping episode. From Hannah turning on Cody, most likely to save herself, to Melissa and Van's insane ending, and Shauna just being a wackadoo in the past storyline. Girl, why am I saying the past storyline? Like, she's not cuckoo banana pants crazy in the present day. Yeah, all of this episode was just jam-packed. This was, to me, one of the most fulfilling, oh, I got a lot of meat and potatoes in this episode. Usually some episodes of Yellowjackets leave me a little bit hungry. This was a hearty meal. This was intense. This was a lot. Do I love every choice and every decision made? No, I think there is some things here that are a bit frustrating. Like, is Walter going to be the one who killed Lottie? I know he's probably trying to do it to win over Misty and kind of be like, look, see how bad they were? I've separated you from the bad. I see what is attempting to be there, but that's the conclusion? Unless Misty is going to be the one who offs Walter and she has to make this bold choice, I don't really see it. And then in the past story, what is going on with the others? What is going on with Travis and the ghost of Javi in the breeze? And was he going to have Lottie go into the pit? Because that would have been a gag, but we're always looming the presence of Pit Girl, most likely going to be the finale of this season, is finding a Pit Girl, maybe them eating them. Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this episode because, again, it's not bad, but the thumbnail for this episode is going to be because I don't exactly know how I feel. Am I frustrated with the end of Van's character? We kind of always known that she had a limited time on the show, with her being sick, and Lauren Ambrose was kind of a later addition, so I never thought she was going to stick around fully on. But am I replacing Van to get more Melissa in the next season? I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know. This episode, again, is just, my mind's all over the place. Between personal life stuff and now this, I am just, you know what? I'm traumatized. This episode just traumatized me a bit. I need to spend time to recover and think and get frustrated and just yell at Shauna more, because truly, Shauna, what are you doing? The episode begins and we are in the present day story. Van wakes up and is having a moment with her past self. It's weird. It's surreal. They also talk about the Goonies for a little bit. Cute, fun, but there's a mission of X marks the spot. This is basically baby Van telling grown-up Van, find the X. This is where your mission's gonna head you out to. So basically, Van, Ty, and Misty get to leave the hospital, sorry. They wish they were in a hotel. They wish it was this easy. Yeah, they leave the hospital, and they're basically on a mission to find where Shauna is. Well, Shauna and Melissa are having a full WWE match up in the house. Chairs getting the steel cage, Mankind's there, Vince McMahon's walking out. All of that's happening basically while Shauna and Melissa are fighting.
Here it comes!
But Shauna gets kind of weakened basically to the point where Melissa leaves. Melissa is able to kind of get a leg up on it and leave, but surprise, you're running out of gas. You should have listened to your wife. That was the funniest thing Shauna has said all episode. Should have listened to her. Yeah, Melissa ends up running out of gas, and who does she run into? Well, she runs into Misty, Ty, and Van. Van sees this moment and also sees a giant X. this is the sign she feels. This is what she needs to do to keep herself alive, or so we think. Yeah, then basically we just end up with all of the girls together. I loved seeing this many Yellowjackets in the modern day story. As much as Melissa is a frustrating character to add in, especially after what she does, it was kind of cool to see Melissa, Misty, Ty, Van, Shauna. I liked seeing all of our modern day Yellowjackets. It's interesting. It really does kind of add a layer to the entertainment of seeing all of our girls that we know in the past, especially when the editing mirrors. We would have moments of Shauna and Melissa in the present day, and then we would cut to the past stuff. That was really interesting. That really made the edit that much stronger. Yeah, all of the stuff, the girls are kind of fighting. They bring up Adam in front of Melissa. Melissa's like, see, Shauna's crazy. She did this once before. Misty dips out because she has to do her investigation, leads her to running into Walter. What are we doing with Walter? What are we doing with this story? He has the helicopter. He picks her up. He says, ooh, I cloned Lottie's phone. Misty gets it and gets some information from that. Information we don't see, but she dips out. Walter seems to know that he seems prepared for the dipping out. So he must have probably been the one to do this. He's been setting up he's been setting up everyone to take the blame so he can kind of basically have, I believe, Misty for himself. Because, Misty's the one who locked Shauna in the closet. Well, not literally, but meh. She's also the fingernail DNA stuff. I think that's going to end up being something Walter did. He just really wanted to solve this case with Misty and get her away from the Yellowjackets. I don't know this for sure. We can find out in the next episode, but that mysterious look while he's with his little chocolate martini or whatever he has. What are they drinking? The little espresso martini or whatever. While he has that, he's looking menacingly, and I'm like, what is up with Walter? The episode's true highlight, though, is the very, very end, where we see one of the most jaw-dropping moments. Melissa is basically able to kind of set up a way that she can get out. She kind of closes the fireplace, so it smokes everyone out. They're all getting sick. Van's able to help Ty. This does awaken Ty. Normal Ty is back. Dark Ty is gone, and Van was a big help, and Melissa was kind of the conduit for it. So we're starting to see maybe that's what the X was. Maybe that was the treasure, was getting the love of her life back. Truly, though, it's tragic because she isn't able to enjoy that because she goes to kill Melissa. She believes that is what it wants. That's what the wilderness is calling her to do. Well, surprise, Melissa is up on it and she says, well, I know what the wilderness wants. It wants you gone. And kills her. The stab, I was like, no. And then they did the scene where they're on the airplane together and we see younger and older together. We did that with Natalie, with Juliette Lewis and Sophie Thatcher. So yeah, this is the conclusion of Van's story in the modern day. Thankfully, I love Liv and I love the past story with, Van and all that right now. They're hitting a really good stride in the past story, but it just sucks that our modern day Yellowjackets like Juliette Lewis and Lauren Ambrose are no longer going to be involved, and we are just not stuck with the past versions, but we're not getting the full story. We're not getting the full oomph because I do like them. How do you guys feel about this ending of Van's character? Maybe Van does tell her, we got your love of your life back. That should be good. And she goes, that's how my story's going to end. And Van says, well, we'll have to see how this all unfolds. I hope there is a moment where, I don't know, this can sound morbid, where all the Yellowjackets end up dying and then they go to this heaven thing and we see all of them together. That would be a satisfying conclusion to all of this. But at this moment, living with Van no longer with us, I'm a little bit angry. And in the past storyline, Shauna is on one. She is like, I think those other girls are planning something, which, surprise, they were. They were trying to figure out how to get Cody and Hannah out. There's a small group of rebellion. As we saw last episode, not everyone is sold on staying, but they're also intimidated by Shauna. Shauna is kind of keen to this plan, so she's basically keep an eye out for them. Yeah, oh my goodness, there's so much there. We also have Ty and Van kind of butting heads. Ty is not ready to go. She thinks she needs to clean up the mess, which I do kind of agree with her, but at the same time, in a moment to leave. We also see Misty preparing the transporter. That's a big thing. We see Nat finds out that she has that. Is that going to be their way out? Are they going to be able to call for help? That could be a really big thing. Yeah, so the end part of this, the real meat and potatoes of the past storyline is Hannah's almost attempted escape. So a couple of the girls are like, hey, here's what you need to do. At midnight, you're going to like break out of here. You got this. You and Cody could go. And she's caught. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? Is she going to run and she ends up in the pit? No, she turns around and stabs Cody in the face. Joe McHale's gone. Points. Yay, that's probably my most positive of this episode. Yay, he's gone. But what is Hannah's thing? She's like, oh, I'm joining the Kole. I'm with you girls. I know she's probably just doing this to keep herself safe, because she did have that moment with Melissa saying like, hey, I want to get out of here. I have a daughter. I need to, I want to do this. Talked about MTV, talked about Nickelodeon, all the Paramount owned things. I see you, Paramount. I see you. Yeah, so Hannah's decision to do this here was kind of shocking, because I don't know why. I don't know if she's just doing it to be safety or if she has snapped a little bit, because my goodness, I would have snapped too. Like, I don't know. I don't know what her goal is, but I'm very intrigued to see what exactly she pulls off here, because it's intriguing. It's a goop. It's a gag. But is she pit girl? Is one of the other girls pit girls? We almost had Lottie being pit girl because Travis made that pit. What is happening? Like, I haven't thought about pit girl, but now that people online have been saying it, I'm like, where is it? Put the girl in the pit. I want to see her. That is it for my review of this week's Yellowjackets, baby. It has me scared, shook. I am like trying to figure out what is going on with my life. What am I going to do on the show without Van? What did you all think of this episode? What did you all think of my review? How are you enjoying it? We have one more episode left. Thankfully, Dexter Original Sin has been renewed for season 2. They got to film it, and we'll get to that whenever that comes out. But what do you guys want to see me talk about on this channel? Is there any movies, any TV shows that you guys want me to dive into? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode of Yellowjackets, and let's get prepared for the finale next week by commenting right down below.